Hello, Shawnee Stars. Mrs. Simon here checking in. Hopefully you had a great week learning about being present and giving others your attention. And hopefully you have the opportunity this week to show somebody that they matter to you. Our theme for next week, we're going to talk about forgiveness. And so forgiveness means that you forgive others when they have done something wrong, and that you accept that people make mistakes. So sometimes people make mistakes, they do things that they might feel sorry for, and we have to learn to forgive them. And so I'm going to read a story this week, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. This story goes along with our theme of forgiveness because Lily does something that she feels really sorry for in the end, and we'll see how that turns out for her and how forgiveness was shown to Lily. So without further ado, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. Let me just get situated here for one sec. There we go. All right, and this is by Kevin Henkes. Kevin Henkes is one of the authors that I absolutely love his books. There's lots of books. I'm sure you've read a lot of them, but this is one of his titles that will teach us about forgiveness this week. All right. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils. So do I. That's my favorite thing. I love writing with pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. She loved the way her boots went clickety, clickety, click down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. Instead of greeting students or good morning pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. He thought that desks in rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger. She wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer. And she volunteered to stay after school to clap erasers. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening.
Call me at 6806.
Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really, really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone, look what I've got. Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone. Her quarters were gone. Her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack that Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought, and she thought, and she thought. And then she became angry. She thought, and she thought, and she thought some more. And then she became furious. She thought, and she thought, and she thought a bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. So if you look at her picture here, it says, big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher. Claws, thief, bad, wanted by the FBI. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up. Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her her purple plastic purse back. It's a beautiful purse, said Mr. Slinger. Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. I don't want to be a teacher when I grow up, Lily said, and she marched out of the room. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and her quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better. There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of the purse. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. I'll stay here for 1,000,000 years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? 1051, 1052, 1099. That night, Lily drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. It says, Lily was really, really sorry. So everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. Now she drew a new picture and it says, listen up. I forgive everyone. Good, kind, nice. Could be principal. I am really, 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 really sorry. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. I think Mr. Slinger will understand, said Lily's mother. I know he will, said Lily's father. The next morning, Lily got to school early. These are for you, Lily said to Mr. Slinger, because I'm really, 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 really sorry. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. What do you think we should do with this? Asked Mr. Slinger. Could we just throw it away? asked Lily. Excellent idea, said Mr. Slinger. Notice it's the picture, the mean picture that she drew yesterday or the day before. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse and her shiny quarters and her glittery movie star sunglasses. Then she did a little performance using them as props. It's called interpretive dance, said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. Wow, said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily snacks to everyone's delight. What do you want to be when you grow up? Asked Mr. Slinger. A teacher, everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy. And she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. So in the story, boys and girls, Lily did something that she felt really, really sorry for. And then she wrote an apology note to Mr. Slinger, and she drew a new picture, and she apologized when she went to school the next day. And he forgave her, right? He just let it go and realized that sometimes we make mistakes, or we might do things or say things that we regret. And someone asks forgiveness, and we extend that to them. So that means we realize that other people can make mistakes, and we forgive them. So hopefully this week, you have a good time learning about forgiveness and learning that other people, including ourselves, we can always make mistakes, and that's okay as long as we learn from them and we say are sorry and we apologize for those mistakes. And hopefully the other person forgives us. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do, but we encourage you to forgive others so that they feel better and you feel better. All right, so have fun this week learning about forgiveness, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.